Los Angeles buzzed with its usual chaos, but deep within its crowded streets, a darker chaos had taken root. In the last 3 months, over 6 mysterious fires had claimed the lives of dozens. The strange part? No cause could be identified. No faulty wires, no gas leaks, nothing. The only constant in all the incidents was the rumors. Witnesses claimed to have seen a shadowy figure, almost ghost-like, lurking near the sites just before the fires began. They called it the Burning Specter. Detective Mia Carter stood in the ashes of the latest tragedy, an old warehouse near the outskirts of the city. Her hazel eyes scanned the charred ruins, her gloved hand running over blackened wood. "Nothing human could have survived this," she muttered. "Yet there's always a survivor," a voice interrupted. Jacob Owens, a firefighter who had narrowly escaped death 2 weeks earlier, walked up. He still had burn marks on his hands, but the haunted look in his eyes was worse. "I saw it, Mia. That thing. It wasn't human." Mia, who prided herself on her rational mind, raised an eyebrow. "What did you see?" Jacob hesitated. "It was a shadow, but it glowed like embers. Its eyes, they burned right through me." Mia dismissed him at first, but the look in his eyes made her pause. She had seen too many seasoned professionals break down during these investigations. This wasn't fear, it was certainty. Mia delved into the city's archives, searching for connections between the fire sites. What she found chilled her to the bone. Each site was linked to a man named Victor Grayson, a recluse from the 1940s who had been accused of arson and murder. Victor's story was a tragedy. A mob had accused him of starting a fire that killed 5 prominent businessmen, though no proof was ever found. Driven by vengeance, the mob dragged Victor to his home and set it ablaze with him inside. As flames consumed him, Victor screamed a curse. "This city will burn, and my shadow will haunt its streets." That's just a legend, Mia told herself, but deep down she wasn't so sure anymore. Jacob, meanwhile, began hearing whispers in his dreams, whispers that led him to the abandoned theater in downtown Los Angeles. The whispers were Victor's voice, begging for revenge, demanding blood. Mia and Jacob stood outside the grand but crumbling theater, its Gothic facade casting eerie shadows in the moonlight. The whispers in Jacob's head grew louder, leading him inside. "This is it," he whispered. The air inside was suffocating, heavy with the smell of smoke even though no fire had touched the building in decades. As they ventured deeper, the room temperature dropped, their breaths visible in the cold air. And then they saw it. The Burning Specter emerged from the darkness, its skeletal form glowing like molten steel. Its fiery eyes locked onto them, and its voice boomed, a guttural mix of rage and agony. "You will burn for their sins." The specter raised its hand, and flames erupted around the room, trapping them. Mia fired her gun, but the bullets passed through the creature as if it were made of smoke. Mia realized they couldn't kill the specter with physical force. She remembered reading about a relic said to be tied to Victor's soul, a locket he always carried. If they could find it and destroy it, they might banish the specter, but the specter wasn't going to make it easy. As the flames grew closer, Jacob tackled the creature, shouting for Mia to run. "Find the locket, I'll hold it off." Mia hesitated, guilt wrenching her heart, but she knew he was right. She sprinted through the burning corridors, dodging falling beams and choking on smoke. Finally, in a hidden compartment, she found the locket, a small, charred piece of metal. Mia returned to the main hall to find Jacob barely alive, his body covered in burns. The specter loomed over him, its fiery form flickering like a dying flame. "You want this?" Mia shouted, holding up the locket. The specter turned, its eyes blazing with fury. Mia hurled the locket into the fire, and for a moment, everything stopped. The specter let out a deafening scream as its body began to collapse, the flames around it extinguishing. But the cost was high. Jacob, weakened from the fight, succumbed to his injuries, his final words a whispered thank you. Days later, Mia stood in her apartment staring at the city skyline. The fires had stopped, and the specter was gone, But something felt wrong. She glanced at her reflection in the window and gasped. Her eyes glowed faintly like embers in the dark. The curse wasn't broken, it had only passed on. And in the distance, the shadows stirred once more.